I want to talk about how you can vibe market your way into generating leads. I know this is a new concept, and yeah, essentially we're using n8n and ChatGPT and intelligence and strategy at scale to generate more leads. Um, for the record, I have been using this same process to generate leads for a marketing agency, a eight-figure marketing agency, mid-sized marketing agency, which I got pretty lucky. I started out with this kind of clientele, but essentially you leverage your own strategy, a couple of automation modules here to replicate your decision making when it comes to reaching out to people and marketing your services so that people see your offer and you sell essentially. So I want to cover how we're doing this cold email using human-like intelligence at scale, some examples, how to deploy the second brain, the process of finding leads and writing a message. As an SDR, you would research people. You would, for example, and I have a website here from a company that I used to work at as an SDR, as somebody who reaches out to people for a living and gets sales for a living, and have in mind these people make pretty good money. They make from anywhere from 60 to 400, 500, 600 to a million a year, right? Those are very valuable roles in in the market. So essentially my idea was to duplicate that decision making, that activity of sales, which was a very valuable activity, if not the most valuable activity that exists in a business. Okay. So what we're doing here, for example, if I was an SDR, I would look for things that I can relate, just like striking up a conversation with a stranger on the street. You want to find something that's relatable, or something that is cool about that person, right? So the same thing goes in the B2B world. So I would look for something that's pretty cool, like, hey, you guys worked with fan bases. That's actually really impressive. I'm gonna use that to craft a message to them. However, if I were to do this at scale, if I were to do this to 500 people, that would be pretty impossible and tiring, and kind of yeah, it would just suck. So that's why I have the system to essentially do the same thing. So I'm gonna show you how to really yourself, duplicate your sales activity, and as if it were like your second brain. So essentially, let's say here, we're scraping people's websites, just like, we're getting the HTML. It's kind of like as if we were reading the whole website ourselves, right? Well, we're not going to do that. We have a scraper for that, and we have AI to read the website for us. Read tons of websites. Read like one website every 5 seconds. Um, if I were to do that, I would, pass out or something. I'm not sure, but I swear I'm funny. I'm just being a little robotic, but yeah. Essentially, we're telling the AI what to do on that website, what to look for. For example, look for a client that they work with, and then we can use that to say here on generate a message, we can say, like, we can use the client that they have as a variable and say, hey, I know you're working with client. Um, you know, I'd love to get you more of those clients. So those are just some things that you can look for. Another thing is where they've been featured. Some companies have been featured somewhere, or they pay to get featured. In this case, that's probably the case. But um, essentially, yeah, those are all things that you can use to relate to those people, and reach out to them with more resonance and more humanity behind it. That's the secret. And like I said, a lot of people say that cold email is just a lot of volume, volume, volume. And I agree. Volume is important in cold email. However, just like anything in life, it's a good mix. And there's nothing that is more right than the other. It goes both ways, and you find your own medium. I like to be in the middle. I like to be a hybrid of things, right? So it's kind of where I'm at. That's what I believe in. That's what's been working. So like good enough amount of volume and good personalization, good amount of resonance and humanity behind your messages is what actually strikes up people to read your email and see the offer in the first place. So those are all really important things. So I'm going to show you some, I just wrote down a message here to as an example of some things that we can be saying to these people. I'm going to go ahead and put it here just because I know my camera is like right here. So hello, first name. I noticed that you're working with client, a specific client that they're working with. This would be, for example, Hotano Oil. I know you're working with Hotano Oil. That already implies that I've looked into them, that I know who they work with. That is a sign of respect. Respect is really important in relationships and whatever. I don't want to get too philosophical about it, but it matters, right? If you're reaching out to somebody, reach out with respect. Okay. So figure I reach out because I've been working with similar uh, things that they offer, similar digital marketing agencies that offer TikTok. Uh, Digital TikTok agencies sign 1 to 4 clients a month using AI sales agents at scale. If you're looking to sign a couple more clients, we can test this out for you for free, no strings attached. I'll give you a couple of leads for free, and we can go from there. I could twist this offer a little bit to sound better, but this is just an example. And I know you value, this is another thing to up the resonance a little bit and the humanity of it at scale. So if you say, oh, you need volume, okay, well, you can do this volume you can do this with volume too. Uh, I know you value thing they value. How do you do that? You can actually prompt an AI, you can actually prompt this to find something that they value based on the copy of their website. So you're just going to be looking for linguistic patterns and sort of categorize them in the archetype uh, box and use that to infer like, okay, well, these people value trust. These people value results. These people value a deep connection, long-lasting connections. Every person sort of relates a little bit more with something than the other, and you can definitely look into what that is by understanding their what they say on their website, right? Um, so yeah, it's as easy as that. If you're interested in getting the system and trying it out for yourself so you can generate some leads, essentially it just pumps out into a Google Sheet. You need a Google Sheet for it. So I can test this out and just show you guys real quick. So I already have a sheet connected here. It's a copy of VP of B2B sales leaders. So it's visiting their website, scrape their website, simplify the data from their website. It got some data and generated a copy based on that data. So then what it's doing now, it's actually populating this sheet right here. It's one of these, but I don't want to risk. So it's just populating and writing all of these messages at scale. So here, it all looks the same, and that's good. Mine somehow just really sticks to the prompt, and that's a good thing. So yeah, we're just actually resonating with these people, um, doing the job of a salesperson, and just really the salesperson is working as we speak right now. It's like having 1,000 monkeys just writing personalized messages for you, just a way you ask them to, and just a way you instruct them to by telling them, what to look for, what to say, and yeah, it's really duplicating yourself and reaching out to people that way. But this is pretty much what we've been doing to generate these results for this company. They've been trying for 6, 7 months now. and they finally got something. So, like I said, if you're interested, you can find my email on my YouTube channel, subscribe, find my email, send me a email, and I will make sure that I send you the JSON for this and a guide to so that you know how to use this, best practices and such. Um, or yeah, just send me any questions, whatever, and I will answer. Oh, we're missing something. So on finding some leads, finding some leads. How do you think you're gonna find some leads? A lot of SDRs would say, "Oh, you just go to Apollo." Oh yeah, that's if you want to just burn through money. If you guys like spending money, sure. I don't. So, what I do is I actually just copy this and put it into Apify. Apify, you can save literally thousands of dollars by just doing this. You just do the same exact search and then you scrape it with Apify. It's like the same thing. Um, but yeah, a lot of people still pay a ridiculous amount of money for this or clay when you can build your own clay. Um, and you have a lot more power over what you do. So, yeah, I'm gonna snag all of these clients from them. But yeah, thank you for watching until the next video.